Say something. My bad for whoever got to watch the intro of this and you hear me sing. Say something. Say something. I don't pray. What's up, everybody? We vibing right now. You are tuning in to the infamous. How's everybody doing? How we doing? How we feeling? Just getting the vibes right as we getting started. Just making sure these vibes is popping. Pray for the daylight. Pray for the daylight. Mama taught me how to pray. How we doing? How is everybody doing? What's up, Crystal? How you doing? What's up, Rebecca? What's good, Dwayne? What's up? What's up? How's everybody feeling? Because half the pastors in America don't want my family in America, and even Jesus was a then nobody seemed to give up. What's up? Who is singing? Unfortunately, I was singing, but I was singing an artist by the name of What Up RG. He is a Hispanic artist that is signed to Reach Records. Very, very good artist. Anyway, just had some vibes playing. Somebody said, feeling right. How are you? I feel like that's from a song. That's from a song. I feel like that's from an Outkast song or something. I don't know. Either way, I'm feeling good. Y'all, so look, not gonna hold y'all up. Apologies for the tardiness. Had to get that workout in, and had to get that shower in after that workout. Y'all see I'm representing my company that I work for. It's helping with these bills. Let me turn this down. All right, y'all. So thank you for everybody who is tuning in. We're gonna have a wonderful conversation with a friend of mine, a gentleman who I know, one of the first people that I knew who was in tech. I knew him before he got in tech. I'm not going to talk too much about our story because he's going to share the story. We'll kind of talk about it and dialogue about it for you all to share. Some amazing testimonies y'all are about to hear, not just about, him being in tech, but just the journey God took him through. He is in manual QA. I know many of y'all have been asking me about manual QA. I have not had many answers because I am not in manual QA. I know very few people who are in manual QA. And one of those few people are the gentleman who's going to be coming on tonight. Carl Duperval, Olivier Online. So just a few house rules before we get started. A few different house rules. So first and foremost, as always, y'all, let's be loving, let's be kind. Not just to me. Make sure you're loving, you're kind, respectful towards my guest. Also be loving and kind to one another in the comment section. Lately, things have been better, been smooth, been loving, been graceful. I definitely like that. I want us to continue that, just kind of going on, moving forward, all of that. So be kind to yourself, be kind to the guests that are going to come on. Also, for people who have questions, make sure that you get a badge, that you purchase a badge. Either one, get a badge if the content is blessing you, if you enjoy it, if you want to show some love, all of that, get a badge. But beyond that, if you have a question, everyone who has a question, get a badge. We're going to be answering questions based on those who got a badge. I'm not saying how much the badge has to be. I would say get the badge based on your value of the content, all of that, how much you're enjoying it, how much the question matters to you. But at the end of the day, we are answering questions for those who get a badge, whether it's $1, $10, $5, whatever. So just a little bit before I go ahead and bring my guest on. So I want to tell y'all something that's really crazy for everyone who has signed up to the Careerist Tech Bootcamp and those who are considering signing up to the Careerist Tech Bootcamp. I want to let y'all know that we actually broke their system temporarily. So literally within 1 week of me mentioning my story, the Tech Bootcamp, all of that, over approximately 207 people used my discount link to sign up for Careerist, and it literally broke their system temporarily. So that's actually crazy. It's really wild. It's really super crazy. I'm blown away because I wanted to tell people about tech. I wanted to tell people who look like me, tell women, to other people of color, people in general about tech. At first I was worried that people weren't going to care. I was like, man, like, this is going to be a weird shift from what I normally talk about. I was tired of talking about the relationship stuff because I didn't like the drama. I'm not a person who really cares for drama. And I was like, man, it was very hard for me to see a positive impact I was making. And it just made sense because tech is such a blessing to me. God has used it so mightily in my life. And then everything I've been learning being in this space, seeing kind of what's coming down the line, how our communities are about to be impacted in some really nasty ways. And so I was like, yo, I really want to use this form of ministry to tell people about the opportunity that's in tech, tell people how to get in tech, give people opportunity, give them discounts through the ways that I got into tech, the backdoor way that I got into tech, to give other people that look like me opportunity to get in tech. I do want to let everyone know, especially those who are interested in signing up for Careerist moving forward. Literally right now, they have a 30% off discount that's going on. Literally, they have a 30% off discount that's going on. Use the link in my bio to get an additional $100 off with that 30% discount. But that's crazy. It's almost half off with that $100. It drops the price dramatically. Again, I paid full price when I did the program. I didn't know anybody who was going to kind of give me the little hookup, whatever. I do want to let everyone know, full transparency. Careerist does give me a referral, like some type of like referral kickback or whatever for people who use my discount. So on one end, it blesses y'all when you use my referral link because you get money off. On the other end, they do give me like a referral, like a referral, like little payment thanks thing or whatever. So I just want to be like fully transparent, open about that, honest. Because it's got to be fully transparent or whatever. So if that deters you, if you don't want to use my link, I still encourage you to go to Careerist. Don't use my link. You don't have to get the $100 off if you want to go that route. I just do want to be like open and honest, let people know that. And so that being said, I'm going to bring on other people that have done other tech boot camps, people who've gone to college, all of that, let them tell their story, how they got in, all of that. I just am going to talk about what I know about and what I know is legit, and also what is working for myself and others. So that being said, again, they doing 30% off. If you use my link, you get an additional $100 off with that as well. So just letting people know. Ironically, the next course they're going to be doing that starts next week is a manual QA course. So if you are here, pay attention, because all the questions you have, if you want to sign up for Careerist and do manual QA, or you're considering it, pay very close attention, because my guest, and we didn't even plan this, like this is just crazy alignment. My guest tonight is manual QA, and literally their next course that they have for that 30% off is a manual QA course. So pay very close attention. Make sure you are asking questions, the questions that matter to you. Because I want people to get their questions answered. My time is very, very limited right now between my job, this, and other things I have going on. So it's very hard for me to like be in the DMs and answer individual questions. So to be a good steward of my time, I am doing these public lives so people can come on, ask their questions, and let my guests answer as well as myself. That being said, I love y'all. I'm happy y'all are here. I hope this live blesses you, educates you, your family. I hope God uses, whether it's tech or some other endeavor in the future, to bless your family financially, break the bondage of any like poverty, any of that might have been over your family, whether or not you've gone to college, you have a degree. Man, all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on. And yeah, let's jump into it. So, get the homie request. Bro, you have to do a request. So Carl, bro, if you could actually click to request to join. So while he is clicking request to join, while I'm waiting for him to request to join, I'm going to talk him up a little bit. So this guest of mine, we had crazy story how we met, crazy story how we actually got close. All right, he's coming on. To blow a lot of y'all's minds how God orchestrated our relationship, how God used me to bless him, and how ironically God used him to be a major blessing to me in multiple ways. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's good, fam?
Hey, man. you look like one of them old people. Like you look like one of them I don't know if it's like one of them little kids. It's like you got any games on your phone? Either that
I'm too close, bro.
You said what?
I'm too close to the phone, man. I got back up.
Yeah. Let me
There we go.
Turn you up. Can everybody hear him good?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it was just your audio it seemed a little low. Not necessarily that we can't hear you, but that it was low. Okay. Yeah, super cool. Bro, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I cannot complain.
Yeah, man. Super, super good, dude. So look, I'm gonna say a little bit. I'm gonna introduce you. I'm gonna do like a little light introduction, okay. And then we'll talk. So y'all, you said what?
Just don't get it wrong.
I'm gonna try not to get it wrong. I'm gonna try to remember your story. All right, y'all. So look, I was about to make up a whole story about you.
Yeah, well, they don't make don't tell no crazy stories. Go ahead.
That's funny. Someone said your headphones might make you a little muffled. You sound pretty okay to me now. I don't know. We'll just kind of talk through it, whatever, or you can take them out either way. So see, I'm representing my company right now. I had to represent. Anyway, y'all. So a little bit about my guest tonight. My guest tonight, he and I met. We met at Kennesaw State University. I am not a college graduate, like I said before. I'm not going to college. I went to school for about 2 weeks, and that was it. But we met at Kennesaw State University back when I was an artist, and we met there. It was really dope. According to him, and he can correct me in any part of the story, he initially, when I was at Kennesaw State, I auditioned to perform at this event. I believe it was either during the audition or it was at the actual event. I was doing like Christian poetry. Newsflash, if anybody didn't know, I am a Christian, love Jesus, all that good stuff. I was doing Christian poetry. At the time, God was tugging on his heart. He was not planning on necessarily doing a Christian song. But when he heard me auditioning when I did my Christian poem, it really blessed his heart. And I don't want to go too much into detail as to what God did with his heart, because I don't know fully what God did with his heart. Nevertheless, God used me there to encourage him, to draw him nearer and closer to God. And through there, literally, we connected. He connected with a bunch of other people. Now he's super connected. He know more people that I know that's in the faith, that's in the church. But God used me to encourage him to take that step and get closer to Jesus and start taking his faith walk seriously. You know, along the way, he met other people that really he started like doing life alongside of that helped him grow. And now I consider him a dope dude, a mature dude, a dude that I trust, that I can vouch for with people. Really, really great dude. Through there, and you can touch, I guess you could touch on this part of the story and other parts, whatever you want to touch on. But through there, we ended up working together at a security company. A mutual friend of ours owned a security company. And we were working overnight. We were working overnight together, right? Yeah, we were working overnight security at a hotel. Yeah. And I was the overnight supervisor. Our friend owned the company. And while we were there, Carl was telling me about how he had applied to MailChimp multiple times. I heard of MailChimp. I seen it whenever I saw certain emails, but I didn't really know. I was like, you applied to an email company? Like, I didn't really know. I was okay, cool. He said it was a big deal for him to get in. I was okay, it's a big deal to him. Okay, cool. I know when he actually got hired there, he's going to tell y'all how many times he applied. He's going to tell the story about his process, all of that. And again, be ready with your questions. For those of y'all who are getting badges, be ready with your questions. But he applied multiple times. All I remembered is that when he got in, it was like he was gone. Like he left so quick. He left that security company, so he was, he just left that mug and did not look back at all. And so fast forward about a year later, during Juneteenth, he invited me. He spoke to his company, and they had me come to his company. And I went there and did, I think, like a couple poems. And I remember when I went there to the office, I was like, this is the coolest looking office ever. You know, that was my first time in a tech office. And it was just dope. The vibe was dope. The team, everybody was just cool. I was like, this is where y'all work? I was like, oh, this is beautiful. It's lovely. Like, Everything felt so cool. And I remember, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I remember there was a girl there who had just got hired. It was some girl. She was actually gonna go and work at Google, but Google got her flights wrong. They paid for her. They booked her a flight, but they got her flights wrong. So she got mad and said, "You know what? Bump it. I'm gonna just work in MailChimp. Bump it." And she ended up working in MailChimp. And it just blew my mind seeing people like really able to work at what company they wanted to work at once they were in tech. They were able to kind of more so call shots and really have much more control. It's like have much more control over their career and over their future, all that. And I just thought that was really dope. But anyway, that blessed me so much going there. I was like, yo, I kept applying to his company. I applied to his company like 10 times. And I kept trying to rearrange my resume. I was showing him my resume. I was like, bro, I'm trying to get in, bro. I was like, I'm trying to get in. And he was trying to help me. I kept reorganizing, kept applying, kept getting rejected. I was like, dang, what I gotta do? I was praying over the resume. I was about to start fasting. I was like, yo, I'm trying to get up in that mud. Eventually, you know, obviously y'all know the rest of the story. I'm in tech now, blessed, loving it, praising God for it, trying to get other people in. But bro, I thank you for just how God used you in my life, just dropping those nuggets and those seeds and stuff, and how it bloomed and blessed me. So either way, that's a very kind of like weird roundabout introduction. But y'all, I want to introduce my homeboy, my partner, Carl Duperval.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? That was a really crazy introduction, man.
I know it was weird.
I didn't know you prayed and anointed your resume like that, man.
I ain't sure I anointed it. It might have been the oils. I might have like fell asleep and the oils from my forehead got on it or something.
Yeah.
Bro, man. So I shared my side of the story. Before we get into some of the Q&A stuff, me asking you about other questions, can you share your perspective of very, very lightly? You could touch on like your perspective of us meeting, but then more so about being in security, and then like just your journey. I don't even want to say what to talk about, but just your journey getting into MailChimp.
Yeah, that was a really crazy journey. So how we met, I remember that. I was in school, kind of walked away from the Lord, did my own thing. And we were actually auditioning to perform at the fashion show. And I remember hearing your poem. I was like, man, what's this dude yelling and stuff inside the audition room? You know, like spoken word artists, like they really animated and stuff. And then I went in there and I did my audition, and I heard yours again. And I heard yours was about Jesus. And I was like, dang, man, he's rapping about Jesus. Why ain't I rapping about Jesus? I'm a Christian. And then, yeah, long story short, that kind of led to us connecting more. I came back to the Lord later on I think it was that same summer. Then we connected more and stuff and got me in the Christian community and all that. So thank you. You've been a blessing to me. I would not be where I am without you. So thank you for who you are, and the way God's used you in my life. But yeah, my journey into tech in a MailChimp, it's a really funny story. So yeah, like I said, I went to Kennesaw State, study. I originally came in with a computer science degree. I wanted to study computer science. Then I started doing some coding classes in like calculus and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, that's not
me.
Yeah,
it wasn't for you.
Nah, no way. I took like 2 coding classes. It was like, nah, I can't do it. And then transitioned to information security and assurance, which is like cybersecurity. It was like, I can't do this either. This like is too technical and high level for me. I couldn't do it. And so I ended up with information systems, which is like more of like it's like a merge between business and tech. So it's like you could do either like I studied like project management, web development, system analysis and design, like a real broad spectrum of like the tech space and stuff, because I still wanted to get into that field. So long story short, like during like I think my junior or senior year, I got yeah, it is boring. You're right. Super. Oh, to me at least. To me at least.
Yeah, I don't really know anything. I don't know much about. I mean, I know about it, but I've never done anything with cybersecurity. So
yeah. To me, I mean, to each his own, man. But
yeah.
to me, I just couldn't do it. But yeah, I got. It's funny. I wasn't walking with the Lord, but He blessed me with this internship in Alpharetta with a tech company. And it was a development internship. And like I said, I didn't like coding at all. But I took the internship because it was an internship. I needed an internship. And with that internship, it's crazy how the Lord worked it out because I was learning like a different coding language, Angular JS. And my manager did like throughout the internship, like he didn't have time to continue training me. So he sent me over to one of the developers to learn how to fix bugs under him. So like,
you said fix bugs under him?
Yeah, to fix bugs. Like when QA would find a defect in the code or whatever in the interface, they would send it over to the developer so like they could look into the code and fix it. So like he would like look at the bugs and be like, okay, I think he can handle this. He would send it over to me and like we would work on it together.
Yeah.
So like that was my first introduction to like what QA actually is. I didn't know like there was like a designated person that tests the code after it's done before it goes into production.
So QA, I guess just to interrupt you real quick. So manual QA, so it's not just you testing out the user interface and determining, hey, this button works, that button works. It has certain elements where you actually dive into like what maybe the APIs, or do you look at any of the code at all, like on the back end, or what do you do as a manual QA?
You can if you want, but from what I do, it's like I focus more on like the user interface side.
Okay.
So I focus on like everything.
Oh, and my bad, we're using this terminology. Can you explain to people what user? I'm using the terminology because I use it all the time at work. Yeah. Can you explain what user interface is? Because it might sound deep to people, but it's like really simple what user interface means.
So user interface is basically like the look and feel of like the app. It's basically like how the user interacts with the app, like Instagram. Yeah. Like I could scroll here, I could touch this, I can touch these different buttons. Like this is like the interface, like what the app actually looks like and feels like.
Yeah. And the back end of the user interface, is it? I'm trying to remember because I mean I talk about this lightly with my job. I don't go too in depth with this, but is that is that like the APIs where basically someone can go in and change things about the back end of it, even if they don't like work for that company, if they have open APIs, or what would be, you would say the opposite of the user interface? What would you say the back end is?
The back end would be the code. APIs does have it. There is a part of it that could be APIs, but the back end of it is the code. Like it could be like the database code or like the front end code.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, and yeah, I'll let you continue. I'm gonna save my other questions as we go throughout.
You said UI UX. UI UX.
Bro. We're only we're prioritizing answers for people who get badges and stuff.
Okay, my bad.
So no, you good. I know I be getting distracted too. So I just be like, I'm gonna just look in the question box. So anybody has a question, we'll do it like this. If anybody has a question, drop your question in the question box down below, and then that way we'll be able to answer those questions in like a succinct order.
Okay. Where was I in my story? Yeah, that's funny. Oh man.
Now you were saying how you worked. You were interning, and they had basically.
Yeah, I was interning. Yeah, I was interning. Yeah, he would give me like the bugs to fix and stuff. So that was like my first time looking at what like QA actually does. I was like, yo, I didn't know people got paid to test software. And like I said, like I didn't like coding, so it's like, okay, let's look into this QA stuff.
That is low key crazy. I think about that sometimes. It's like you get paid to tell. It's almost like getting paid to try food. It's almost like working at a restaurant, and it's a 5-star restaurant, and your job is you get to try new food before anybody else gets to try it. You get to say you almost get a say, or you really get a say so in almost how some things should look or feel or go or work or whatever. Or am I tripping? Like, would you say that's true?
Yeah, you get like as a QA, like you get a lot of say so on how like the end product is, because like you're like how we do it at MailChimp is like we're advocating for the users. It's like our motto is to test like a user. So I put myself in the user's shoes and go through the app like I was a user. You know? So like,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, we gotta understand our user, we gotta understand the product. There's like a lot of it, whether like we realize it or not, a lot of it, like the functionality, like it revolves around like how well it's tested in QA.
Bro, that's such a dope job. Like, that junk is so cool to me. That junk is legit cool to me. The fact that you literally get to try it, tell them what you think, tell them and again, putting yourself in a user's position, and then them making adjustments, feels, all of that based off of your feedback. And then literally to actually, when the product is out there, when people are enjoying it and you're seeing the feedback from it, you're able to know, yo, those things that people are enjoying, those are some of the things that I approved or some of the feedback that I gave, and now it's blessing the world. Bro, that's so crazy.
It's crazy, like looking at other apps and stuff, like on the internet and just in the app stores, like, yo, this junk was not QA'd right. Oh. You're like, yo, you be finding bugs and like different stuff. It's like, why is it break so easily? It's crazy.
That's crazy. Man, I bet your mind probably thinks that about every app that you fool with, like your first time. Like your mind probably just going through like, yeah, this ain't right. That's wrong.
It's crazy. I guess you gotta control it, because you could be like flaw seeking with it too. So it's kind of, you gotta find like a balance with it. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, to continue my story, after I interned with that company, I interned at another company in Sandy Springs. It's called Airwatch. It was called Airwatch. And that was like my first like full blown QA internship. So it was like I was there to do QA. So I was like my first time, like seeing like the ups and downs, like from front to back, like how QA actually works. And I was there for the entire summer for 3 months. Then this is the funny part. Then finished that internship, went back to school after the summer. And then it was my last semester in school. So God was good, and he blessed me with a job offer before the entire career fair even started. Like,
that's crazy.
Huh?
No, I'm saying that's crazy. Like, wait, when did this happen? So you got a job before even the career fair?
Yeah, I got a job offer before the career fair started. Full-blown job offer, benefits, sign-on bonus, all that stuff before the career fair.
As a QA?
It wasn't as a QA. It was a development. It was a development position. And like I said, I don't like coding.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like,
but you didn't say no to that offer, did you?
Let me tell my story.
Oh, my bad. All right, tell your story. My bad.
Nah, I was not wise. I did not have wise counsel. I wasn't that smart of a cookie. So I said no. Yeah. I said no. And I was like, why did I do that? I told you. I ain't have wisdom, man.
Oh, man.
I didn't have wisdom. I did not have wisdom. So I was like, dang, man. Now I got to scramble to get my resume together and like network at this career fair and all that. But God is sovereign.
Yeah.
And that's where I met one of the reps for MailChimp there at that career fair. Looking back on it, what I should have done is accepted the offer and still went to the career fair anyways. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. Stressing myself out.
It makes sense because you didn't like coding and you probably weren't very good at it. And maybe in your mind, you were thinking, well, I'm not a developer. But at the time, you didn't realize it. At most like tech companies, they help you learn stuff as you're going and they work with you. Did you know that at the time, or were you thinking like, man, I'm gonna have to get in that position and not really know that much of what I'm doing and do something I already like to do? Like, what was your thought process?
Yeah, I was thinking the latter, man. I was thinking like I was gonna have to be in there and try to figure it out and all that. I didn't really know if it would work with me or not. They probably would have known. I know people that work for the company and have worked for them now, so they probably would have. But back then, I was just like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, bro, it's so crazy how we can't, like, literally God will bless us with an opportunity, and then we will like think, oh no, I can't do that, and we'll like throw away something he'll give us.
Yeah.
But he's so good, like you said, he's so good that he'll use it as a lesson for you, and then later on still end up blessing you, still look out for you.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. So long story short, graduated, capstone, did all the good stuff, and I got a job offer the day I graduated. The day I graduated, I got a job. I was literally taking graduation pictures, and they called me. Were like, "Yeah, we're about to offer you this job. You start like next week or something like that."
Was this with MailChimp, or who was this with? You said Capstone?
No, it was a company. Where was that? In Duluth. It wasn't a tech company, but it was a company in Duluth. I worked for them as a business analyst.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is where it gets crazy. This is where it gets crazy, and God starts moving and doing stuff. So, got that job, and I went like I would keep it G, man. I was miserable there, bro. Like it was like one of those quintessential like cubicle 9 to 5, like you don't see outside for like the entire day type of things. I felt like I was in
yeah, that's depressing.
Bro, I felt like I was in an episode of Dilbert like every day. Like legit, man. Like I would leave when the sun was down, go home when the sun was down. It was just bad. And it was in Duluth. And I was in Kennesaw, bro.
Oh my God! So that
like,
drive,
that was a super long drive with all. It was just wild, man.
That's
I was depressed. I was sad, man. Like my work performance was showing it too. It's like I had attitude problems. Like I really didn't want to be there. I mean, they could tell. Like I would like get up and like walk around. I was not good. I would just keep it G.
So how did you leave there? Like what happened?
I'm gonna tell you. So yeah, God told me to quit. Like after like a few months, God told me to quit, and I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. And then the very next week, I got fired.
Yeah, God was like, "Nah, you ain't gonna think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and move in and make something happen."
Yeah, so I got fired. And then when I got fired, I was just like, well, I didn't really want to be here anyways. And God's good because I had severance pay, so like I wasn't like without or anything like that. So like my bills and stuff were still paid and all that. But during that time, like I really sought the Lord and like found him in like a really crazy way, which is another story for another time. But yeah, throughout that time, I'd still been in communication with the recruiter from MailChimp. And like I would still like apply to like different jobs and stuff. And I would always I wanted to be in QA, and I saw the QA positions up there. So long story short, like I applied to a few positions. I interviewed for QA probably like 3 or 4 times, which I'll talk about that like down the line.
Was that 3 or 4 times with MailChimp?
Yeah, with MailChimp. Yeah.
You interviewed 3 or 4 times?
I came into the office and interviewed like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so were these like the first round, second round, third round? Or are you saying these were all separate times you applied and you interviewed those separate times?
I applied. Separate times I applied.
Whoa, bro, dang, bro, that's crazy that you didn't get like overly discouraged or give up.
Crazy. But yeah, like I think like that in general, like that persistence, it kind of showed like I really wanted to work with them. And that's what like got me back into other interviews and stuff like that. It kept my name in their mouth, not in their mouth, but in circulation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, after I got fired, God blessed me again because he's good. And I worked for the Home Depot. It's like the #1 company in Georgia as a junior business analyst.
Before I used to work for them. Before all these tech companies popped up. Home Depot used to be like on like the Fortune 50 list, but I know they're not anymore because all these tech companies don't push them out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I worked for them. It was a contract role. It was supposed to be 6 months. Then after like 3 months, God told me to quit. And I was like, well, this isn't that bad, but I mean, I don't know. And then manager came in one day, was like, yo, something's going on with the budget. We're going to have to cut your contract short. So it went from a 6-month contract to a 3-month contract.
Wow.
And yeah. So was out of a job again for like 3 months. Then I went back to work for VMware. It used to be called MailChimp, and then it's VMware. Was contracted to them for 3 months. It was supposed to be like 3 months to hire, and then God told me to quit again. And I was just
wait. Rewind. Wait, you said you went to work for VMware.
Yeah, VMware.
VMware used to be MailChimp?
No, it used to be. Did I say MailChimp? I meant AirWatch. It was the
company.
Okay,
yeah. You said MailChimp. I was like, wait, what? Okay, cool.
It was the company I did that QA internship for.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went back and worked for them as a contractor, logistics analyst. Then God told me to quit, and I was just like, oh no.
Dang.
And then I was on my way to work. And my recruiter called me. It was like, yo, we're not going to be able to extend your contract. Well, we'll like keep sending you stuff if you want it. I was just like, okay, all right. So long story short, lost that job. Then I was like when I was working with you, like I was out of the tech space for like an entire year. Like I wasn't like interviewed, like none of that stuff for like a whole year. So yeah, I worked for Dave and Buster's. I did like odd jobs here and there. Then we worked together at government security.
Yeah.
And this is the crazy part. So like we had to go up like patrolling the halls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was patrolling the halls, and God told me to put in my 2-week notice. And I just stopped. I was just like, all right. The last few times this happened, it did not go well. So, so I was just like, all right. I did like a Gideon thing. I was just like, man, all right, if this is really you want me to do this, let X, Y, and Z happen. Then I went downstairs and like X, Y, and Z happened. I was just like, all right, bet. Put in my 2-week notice and went home. I did not turn it in. And then I got up the next day. I was like, what am I doing? I went back and turned it in. And throughout that time, this was 2017 at the time. So throughout that process, throughout that year is like when I was, I kind of misspoke, but that's when I was like interviewing with, I interviewed with MailChimp probably like 2 times that year, I think. So I interviewed for, I think, customer support, and I interviewed for like QA and stuff too. But I would always like just keep my eyes peeled for that job board, Then yeah, he told me to quit. Then I went to work for Steak and Shake. Told me to quit that again too.
If I could ask real quick, why did you? I kind of think I know the answer to this.
Mm-hmm.
But why did you apply to a customer service position at MailChimp when traditionally customer service positions don't pay very well or aren't really anything to someone to really go after?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was really customer support. So I applied to customer support because I really just want to get like my foot in the company. And with customer support, like especially at MailChimp, like you got to know like the ins and outs of like the entire app. So like you get to know like the app is like so robust, but like you get your hands dirty in like different areas of it. So like that from there, like you can go from support to QA to dev to whatever. It's like a stepping stone,
Yeah. That's one of the things I've been telling people is like, yo, if you get either at a tech company or you get because a lot of people that are like wanting to just jump straight to sales engineer. And I'm like, yo, you probably can, but it's like if you just get in as like just a tech sales position or get in customer support or something at a tech company, it's like, man, you can easily like more easily make like a lateral move over into one of those other positions in the company.
My bad, I got a call. Scam
Oh no, you good. We know you popular. You popping.
Scam likely.
You good.
Scam likely, man.
Scam likely.
Yeah. but yeah, just going back to the tech stuff. So yeah, I interviewed a few times. Then I remember the last actual like interview I did. Like I went in there like super confident, had my questions, did all my research and stuff like that. I went in there, I killed it, man. I knocked it out. I left, I was like, yeah, man, this junk is mine. And I was like, I ain't gotta pray about it. I ain't gonna ask no one else.
Oh no!
Nothing like that. I was like, bro, that junk is mine, cuz. And they hit me back there like, nah. And I was just like, no.
Man, I would have went aired that whole thing out. I would have been like, nah, bro, I'm surprised you ain't go over there and literally had a gun. Like, somebody about to give me a job.
Yeah.
Somebody about to give me a job.
Yeah, they were like, nope. I was just like, oh man, that was really humbling, man.
Yeah,
Then,
dang.
Then I went through that entire season of like not being in the tech space and all that. But yeah, so I think it was that summer that I worked with you. Like God was stirring my heart to start applying to tech jobs and stuff like that again, because I didn't want to waste my degree or anything like that. So God is good again. I got on LinkedIn, started networking with people. This is another thing that you guys should do too if you want to get into the tech space, is get on LinkedIn and like look up the different, there's so many different jobs in the tech world, man. Just look up different.
It's a lot.
So many different, like ones you wouldn't even like think of that are in the tech space.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, look up all the jobs that you could do, see which ones you might think you'd be a fit for, and start looking up people that actually work in that field and like start networking and asking them questions about like how they got in, like what different courses they did and like how you could get in. It's really like a big like networking game sometimes. I know it was with me.
It definitely is.
Yeah, so when I was out of the tech space, I was like connecting with like all the QAs I could like think of on LinkedIn. I even connected with like some QAs at MailChimp at the time. Like letting them know I was trying to get in and like seeing if they could talk to the manager. Dude, he did. Shout out Jordan, man. Dude's doing big things, man. He was just in a commercial with New York Times.
He was in a commercial with who?
New York Times.
Oh, that's wild. With some stuff with MailChimp?
It was like more like artsy stuff. He's an artist,
okay,
designer and stuff. But yeah. He put like, that's how like my name was like still getting stirred in like the recruiting pot and stuff like that. So I hit up some of the people that I interviewed with, and I was like, yo, do you remember me? I'm still looking for a job in QA. And they're like, yeah, we remember you. And like, we don't have anything right now, but we'll keep you updated and stuff. So
that's probably like, bro, this man really, 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 really wants to do QA at MailChimp.
Yeah, it's crazy. Persistence pays, man. So I pulled up on LinkedIn again, and one of the QA managers at the time, he added me on there, and he was like, yo, like such and such told me to link up with you. Just wanted to connect because I know like you wanted to get in MailChimp and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So we connected, talked on and off for some time. And then I'm trying to remember exactly how the story went, man. He invited
yeah, don't start lying.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to be accurate, bro. He invited me into like an informal interview. Like he just wanted to get to know me. And so I went up there, we talked. He was like, yo, why do you like what keeps you coming back? And I was just like, man, I really feel like I'm supposed to be here. And like he took me on the tour of the space and all that. And honestly, no one really knows this. I don't think I've ever told this to anyone before, but I'll say it here.
This is an exclusive.
So when we were on the tour, we went downstairs and the Lord spoke to me and he was like, look to the right. That's where you're going to be sitting. And I looked to the right and I saw like this, it was like a piece of paper on the wall and it was like that manager's name on there. And I was just like, okay, cool. And then after the informal interview, he let me out. And he was like, yeah, we don't have anything right now, but this was December of 2017. So he was like, we don't have anything right now, but we'll probably have something like in January. So I was just like, all right, cool. I'll take that. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just try to apply to like some contract roles or something like that to hold me over until then. And I actually got on the MailChimp site again and I was about to apply to a customer support role because I was impatient. And I was just like, all right, man, I'm gonna just go in customer support and transfer to QA in January or whatever. And at this time I was like really heavy into Proverbs and like, it talks about like seeking wise counsel and stuff like that. Don't do anything before talking to people and stuff. So I hit up the recruiter and I was like, yo, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about applying to customer support, then going into QA. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I know, like, we've been talking about QA a lot. And then I hit send on, this is what happened. I hit send on the email, went to LinkedIn, and the QA manager at the time, he hit me up and he was like, yo, you still interested in QA? I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, cool. We'll have someone draft something up for you. And then I was like, what? And then I went back to my email and they were like, yo, this is crazy. She was like, yo, this is crazy that you're hitting me up because the manager and we were just talking about offering you something for QA. And they're like, yeah, we're drafting something up right now. And like they sent me an offer. I remember she called me. It was like an unknown number. Like she called me. She was like, hey, is this Carl? I was like, yeah, we want to offer you the QA role. This is like the weirdest offer we've ever done, but we want to offer you this role. And I was just like, man, it's crazy. Like God really worked it out, bro. Yeah.
Bro, that's so crazy. I'm literally on your LinkedIn right now. Yeah. And so when they were drafting something up, so I see when you got hired there, you got hired as a junior QA analyst. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did they create that position for you? Or like what was that? Like did they have a bunch of junior QA or already?
Yeah, they didn't create that for me. I think it kind of like opened up. I don't really know how it happened. I know like some of like the backstory of stuff because like this is another thing of like how God worked it out. So like in the past, before you went into QA, like you'd have to go through like, I think it was like a 3 or 6 month process of like going through like support and all that stuff. So you had to like learn like a whole bunch of stuff all at once. And then like you get tested, and if like you don't pass the test, I think I don't know if like if you don't pass the test, like something like I guess you don't get into QA or something like that. So it's like if I would have got in at the time that I wanted to, I would have had to go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like the way that God worked it out, by the time I got on, like I didn't have to go through all of that.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wow. So you've been at MailChimp for technically 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
And most people don't know, MailChimp recently was bought. They were literally just bought a few months ago by another company called Intuit.
Yeah.
I actually listened to an interview from the former CEO of MailChimp. I listened to like an hour interview of him telling the story of when he started MailChimp, the whole journey on his life, all of that stuff. And the interview literally happened last summer. So it was before it was even announced that MailChimp was going to be purchased by Intuit. Mm-hmm. So with Intuit buying MailChimp, how has that affected the company? Because I know Intuit is more of a older tech company, older, more corporate company, whereas MailChimp was one of the companies that came around the wave where when tech companies were more hip, fun, hey, we want to have a great office environment, enjoyable, all of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Intuit, who owns QuickBooks. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So what what has it been like with you working in MailChimp? Like, if you could tell people what it's like for you, what it was like for you working in MailChimp compared to working in other traditional jobs and companies, like from the company culture, how they treat you. Because when I told people about my company and other people talk about tech companies, so many people hit me up like, bro, I want to work at your company. And I'm like, no, it's not just my company. Like, a lot of these companies like are just really, it's a fresh feel. It's I say all the time, it's different in a lot of tech companies. It's completely different from normal jobs and normal companies. So just kind of talk a little bit about like your experience before they were bought by Intuit.
It's like Disney World. Legit, man. Everybody was like, one of the biggest things about MailChimp is like they care about you like as a person. Like they care more about who you are as a person than an employee. So it was like when I walked in for like probably like the first month or so, I thought everyone was gonna like hug me and stuff like that. It was like everyone was so welcoming and joyful and stuff like that. Like they really, really care about you as a person. Crazy benefits crazy.
What were I know that the benefits are probably normal to you now, but if you can remember in comparison to back when you were like, you know, regular folk, as I was recently a regular folk in regular ghetto jobs. What are some of the unique benefits you would say that they give you that you didn't get at like more traditional jobs or companies?
I'm trying to see what I could say. Definitely like the time off and like the healthcare support and all of that stuff.
Are they
super
what is it called? Unlimited PTO? Like I know a lot of companies do like unlimited PTO.
No, they weren't. It was generous PTO, but it wasn't unlimited. Yeah.
I've interviewed with 2 companies recently. So my company doesn't do unlimited PTO, but I mean, whatever. I work from home anyway. Well, since COVID, since everything happened, did MailChimp go remote?
Yeah, it went remote. We went remote like March of 2020. March of February. I think it was one of the two, man. It's been a long pandemic, bro.
Dang. Yeah, it really has. We didn't think it was going to be this long. We did not think it was going to be this long.
Yeah. So, like, even with the pandemic, bro, like, they took really, really good care of us. Like, man, we got stipends to, like, get, like, work from home stuff. Like, if you needed to get, like, an office desk or, like...
See, that's the good stuff people need to hear.
Yeah, like, they gave us stipends. Like, we did, like, work from home. Like, we did, like, workshops from home. Like, my team, like, we made pasta and had, like, a pasta dinner type of thing. Like, they ordered us all the materials. We just had to cook the stuff and all that stuff. So it was dope, man. Like they really, really took care of us, man.
That's good, bro. That's super fire. Are y'all still remote?
Technically, some people have gone.
Oh, no. I remember y'all are more hybrid model now, right?
Oh, it's not completely open yet. Just because of like like the stats and all that stuff. But some people have been able to get back into the office. It's like a test type of thing.
Yeah, I know. When I was listening to the interview with the former CEO, that he was saying that they were considering like a flex model or something like that. That's something that they were considering. Have they? So I know that they had bought. So first off, y'all, the office that they were at, I don't know. I know he mentioned that they had bought a new office right as COVID like was hit. That they had literally just signed a lease on a new office. Yeah. The fact that there was a new office, because the office y'all used to work at was fire. Like that junk was so cool. It was in the coolest part of Atlanta too.
Yeah. Ponce City Market, baby.
I was like, bro, you got all the best food. Yeah. It's like literally everything is here. Like I love Ponce City Market and the fact that your job is literally in it. I was like, bro, I was such a hater. I think that was my first time at Ponce City Market. I think it was. Oh my gosh, that location was so fire. So the fact that y'all got a new location, unfortunately, COVID messed that up. Yeah. But the fact that y'all got a new location, I'm like, I wonder how fire that new location is.
Yeah, it's like it's still being built. Like it's crazy looking, man. It's crazy looking. So we have an office in Ponce City Market. The 4th floor part of the 5th floor and the 9th floor. Oh, all of the 5th floor, I think, and the 9th floor. I haven't been there in so long, bro. But yeah, they got an office in Brooklyn.
Oh, somebody call you
I gotta
again?
charge my phone.
Oh, your phone might be
Yeah,
down.
nah, I just gotta charge my phone. But yeah, they got an office in Brooklyn and Oakland.
All right, so let's get into some of the stuff, man. So first off, bro, thank you for telling your story about how you got up in there, and telling people about your journey. That's so wild. I wondered if you went to school for it or if there was another route you went. And obviously, you did internship, kind of like 2 kind of internships, and then like aggressively applied. Since you've been at MailChimp, if you could guess, how many companies have reached out to you offering you to be a QA analyst or manual QA at their company? Not companies you've reached out to, but if you had to guess, how many companies have hit you up offering you a position, even though you didn't hit those companies up?
A lot. In my 21 Savage voice, a lot. Nah, it was a lot, especially like when I first started, just because of the name of the MailChimp.
Yeah, MailChimp. Yeah, that's a big name.
Yeah, because of the name. Yeah, QA is like a big thing too. It's like I didn't realize it. It's its own industry, bro. Like there's like QA like dedicated conferences, books, like workshops, and like all that stuff. I didn't know that. It's
like a whole world, yeah.
Mindset and stuff like that. I was like, yo, it's like a whole nother world, bro.
Yeah. That's so crazy. It's so weird. I mean, it's like that too as a sales engineer. There's like a lot of conferences for sales engineers, hangouts, and it's like the tech world is like a world, but it's like even what you do in tech, there are worlds within worlds of tech.
Yeah.
It's almost like we all from the same city in tech, but it's like we might be talking junk because you ain't from my block and I ain't from your block. But at the same time, when somebody from another city basically try to come and people that work in tech, we like, wait, hold up, you ain't about to come for our city type of thing.
Yeah.
How would you say, so with some of the offers you've gotten, I'm not gonna lie, bro, why have you stayed at MailChimp so long? Because I'm not gonna lie, most people I've noticed, most people like hop company to company and like boost their income really quickly. Why would you say you've stayed at MailChimp so long?
God's blessing me here, man. And like I didn't really have like a reason to leave, for real. Like the people are no complaints like at all. Like the people are amazing, benefits, opportunities are amazing. There's so many opportunities to grow into like go into like different areas that you want.
Yeah.
Like they'll pay for us to like go to conferences and like learn different things and stuff like that. The culture. Like you've seen it, like the culture is crazy. Like they bring people in to talk to us about like their craft and stuff like that. Like I met Tony Hawk. I met Tony Hawk. Spike Lee came and spoke to us.
I remember you were in New York and you told me you were in New York and I was like, what you doing in New York? And you were like, oh, I'm here for a conference. Like, did your company, did they pay for you to go to New York and go to that conference?
Yeah.
Flipping crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so wild, bro. That's such a blessing.
Yeah, like I was saying, like they invest in you like as a person. Like they know like if they take care of you as a person, like you'll be like they could get like a return on that as an employee.
Yeah. That's super fun. I'm looking over here like different questions that I got.
Yeah.
Man, so if you had to say, so you don't have to say your specific salary range, whatever, but with someone with your tenure that's with your specific job that's in tech, if you can kind of give like a window, like from like usually from this much to this much, usually what somebody might make, because that's one of the questions people are asking me, and I try not to speak too heavily on certain positions, especially ones that I'm not as familiar with that are in tech.
You could easily make 6 figures. You can easily get up to that. Especially like if you have the right like skill set and the right Yeah, if you have the right skill set and you have the right company, you can really like vouch for yourself. You can easily get up there.
How would you again, I know a lot of this has to do with like the company somebody's at, stuff like that, but one, how long do you think it usually, if somebody's like making wise decisions, how long do you think that it would probably take them to get to six figures when they started manual QA today? And also, what would you say the general cap is at around like 10 years, 5 to 10 years?
Hold on, let me look at the stats. I don't want to misspeak. So ask that question one more time.
I was asking, like, how long would you say it would take someone to get to six figures that are in QA? And then also, like, what's kind of roughly the cap for manual QA?
I think it depends on the company, man.
Yeah.
Companies have like different like budgets and stuff for it, and companies value it differently too. Like some companies might not really even value QA like that. They might not see like the need for it. Like some, especially if it's like, it might be like a startup or something like that. Like the devs might test their own stuff, you know, like why would I need to hire someone specialized in this?
Yeah, they don't see the value in it.
Yeah,
it happens a lot. It happens a lot whenever I'm demoing to small businesses or small companies.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll try to cheap out, and they'll try to cheap out and get like the smallest like package.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, if you pay a little bit more money, this could really explode your business.
Yeah.
And they're just thinking like, we don't really know about that. And it's like, man, y'all are thinking so much about saving dollars. You aren't thinking about what can really invest in your business or what can truly help your business in a big way. So yeah, I guess I can see some people thinking like, oh, we don't need a QA. We can just test it out ourselves. But it's like, they're not trained in that way, like a manual QA person. What would you say, what is the difference? Because I know this is something that's been coming up a lot. What is the difference between manual QA and QA automation? What the flip is the difference between those?
Automation. All right, so manual QA is more, the way I could explain it, it's like more human centric. So it's like, like I said, like our motto is to test like a user. So I'm a human being going through that app with my own fingers, with my own brain, my own thought process, and going through it like I'm a user. But QA automation is more code-based. It's more technical. So it's like the developers are writing the code to go through these steps in
so they have AI, or they write code to basically have AI that's doing the QA job, but it's an AI that's doing the QA job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so it's and it goes through, like, it could be as basic or complicated as you want it to be, but like some of them, like they get like with like what we do, like when we develop a new feature, like sometimes we go and do like regression testing to make sure like the new thing that we made isn't breaking the old stuff that we did.
Yeah.
You know, so like we don't want to waste time going through all these old test cases and stuff like that. So we'll send those over to to someone in QA automation, and they'll write up the code to make the AI go through all those tests. And the AI will be like, yo, this is broken. You guys got to fix this or whatever.
Is that why? So I've heard whispers for the past couple years when I was trying to get into tech and I was trying different routes, and then I found out about the tech bootcamp that I did. I've heard whispers for a couple years that they're saying that manual QA might be done away with in the future. So you don't think that's a thing that's going to happen in the future?
Nah, you can't. Nah, you could try to make things as technical as you want, but you can't really substitute a human experience.
Yeah, you really can't.
Yeah, so like there's always going to be room for, especially like with the apps that are coming out now, there's always going to be room for some type of, they're going to need like a human to test.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I mean, AI will always get better, but it'll never truly be able to be like a human. Like even my job as a sales engineer, technically, someone can record a demo, a 15-20 minute demo of a product, send it to a customer, and give them the gist of the product. But each customer, each business has unique use cases or unique like problems. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just send a generic video.
Yeah.
It's like you need, and sometimes nobody wants to sit there and watch a 30, 45-minute video about every single feature.
Mm-hmm.
They just need 15, 20 minutes about the specific things and how it can help their business.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's features that they don't even need that your business has. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you need a human being doing this, because a human being can feel out the conversation to know what matters to that person. Even though I'm just demoing them technology, as a human, I can relate to their issue in a way that AI could never like hear a tone in their voice and realize, oh no, they actually don't like that.
Yeah.
So let me shift and like point out something else to them, or let me ask a question. It's like that human element is always necessary, even with assisting tech. And I think that's the irony, is that a lot of jobs are getting automated. A lot of normal jobs are getting automated with tech. You know, even Sam's Club, they've been opening up more locations that don't have any cashiers. They just are just having just tech. They're just having the self checkouts, and other things that are happening like that. Domino's recently a lot of people don't know Domino's is turning into a tech company where they've been getting rid of people making the pizzas. They actually have robots in the back that are starting to make pizzas at their locations now, and the robots can make pizzas 3 times as fast as a person can, and the robots just have to be charged for 30 minutes a day. You don't have to pay the robots. The robots don't go to HR to complain about racism, sexism, anything like that. So they can do those things. A robot can make a pizza, but a robot, literally, you still need a human to code to make the robot do what it needs to do. You still need a human to demo, to talk about the product. You still need a human to test out, to do QA on the robot or on the product. And so it's like, the irony is that it's kind of like the Willy Wonka movie, the second one, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, when the dad lost his job to a robot, but then later on they rehired him to actually be the mechanic of the robot. So he ended up getting a better job. The robot replaced his old job, but it ended up blessing him. What seemed like something that hurt him at first, it came around and ended up being a blessing to where it gave him a bigger opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe is kind of what's happening with a lot of this tech stuff, tech companies, where it's like they're taking away jobs and taking away opportunities. But for people who are being wise and people who are paying attention, it's like, yo, this is actually a better opportunity. So for the people that are like, yo, you work in customer service somewhere and you might be making $30,000 an hour and you're just getting by, you're struggling. It's like, your job, you might lose your job because it's being automated. But instead of being like, oh man, let me go try to get another $30,000 an hour job, instead be like, yo, let me look into what jobs are being taken away by some type of technology, and let me see how I can be at the forefront of that and end up being a mover and a shaker, whether in the tech industry, at a company, all of that. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about today, and I want to see, I guess, what you think about this as a QA, and then after this, we'll get into the questions. I was spending time with God this morning, right before starting work, and I had a heavy workload today. I saw my schedule. I was like, good googly moogly. I was like, this is about to be crazy. So I was praying and I was asking God to, like, I was like, Lord, give me strength, prepare me for this day. It's about to be a lot. This is about to be a heavy day. I said, Lord, give me strength. Let me be sharp. Let me be focused. And then literally the Holy Spirit started ministering to me and started showing me how, like, yo, this isn't work. This is ministry, what you're doing. And Holy Spirit started showing me how, as a sales engineer, it's like, yo, because my company Dialpad, we help other companies go remote. We help other companies basically be like, yo, y'all don't have to be in an office. We give them technology and stuff. I mean, basically, we're a phone provider, so we help them literally automate their business in a way so where they don't have to be in the office. And that's one of the things. We do a plethora of other things, but that's one of the things we do. And literally the Holy Spirit started like ministering to me and was like, yo, like, your job when you're talking to customers, you're not trying to sell, like you're not trying to like just demo the product so that they buy your company's software. You literally are helping these companies that are trying to figure out this whole COVID thing and trying to figure out, hey, how can our business operate? you know, without people in the office, you're helping these companies allow their employees to stay home. Not only the Holy Spirit was showing me, like, not only are you helping keep people safe and healthy, the Holy Spirit started showing me single mothers who have children that can't afford daycare, but because they're going to be able to stay at home and work from home, they're going to be with their children and not have to pay for daycare. The Holy Spirit was showing me all of the accidents, the car accidents that aren't going to happen, all of the people that aren't going to die. They would have died in a car accident on their way to work, but because of my job, I'm going to be saving lives, because now those people are driving less, and the likelihood of them getting into an accident is going to go down. Mm-hmm. And the Holy Spirit started showing me fathers that are going to get to work from home and spend the majority of their life with their family. Because, you know, traditionally, when people go to work, people spend more time with their coworkers than they do with their family. Yeah. The Holy Spirit was showing me how it's like, no, Cyrus, you're helping companies keep their teams at home, keep their employees at home, to where fathers and husbands can literally do life with their family. They can literally be around their family all the time. And this is a real thing, because my managers, my coworkers, all the time, whenever we're talking online, all of that, because we use our product. We use Dialpad when we're talking, because it's similar to Zoom. Literally, my manager, his wife will walk by, his daughter will come jump on his lap, like during like company meetings and stuff. Everybody's dogs will walk up, and everybody, oh, let's see your dog. And it's like, and he says all the time, he's like, man, you can't beat this. He's like, man, you can't beat this. He says, we get paid ridiculously well. We're blessed. He says, man, I get to spend all the time I want with my daughter, with my wife. Yeah. He said, man, this is amazing. And like, man, the Holy Spirit was like showing me that, like, it's a paradigm shift, realizing like, yo, this is ministry. Like, your job is ministry. It's saving lives. It's allowing families to spend more time with each other than they ever would have got to spend. Mm-hmm. And man, that jump blessed me so much. I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. Like, I'm literally doing ministry. I'm doing God's work through this company, and God is providing for me well through this company. Yeah. And I was like, bro, that's so wild. Yeah. I went like on a super tangent. With that, would you say, this is a slight tangent. I don't want anybody to think like we're going all the way off this direction. I know people have questions. I want to honor people that have purchased badges and have questions. But how have you seen, whether in an instance like that or other instances, how has like God shown you the ministerial value, like, of what you do with your job, whether with your coworkers, or like how your job is blessing the world in some kind of way?
It's kind of similar to you, man. So as a QA, it's like I could be kind of like the last line of defense before like a feature goes out. So basically, like the software development life cycle, have a business, like you got a business need. I'm sorry, I'm trying to charge my phone. There we go. We good. All right. So basically, you got a business need. Get together. You plan it out. That developers develop it. They send it to QA, and QA goes through our own QA process before the app goes out. So basically, like I was saying, like, we're kind of like the last line of defense before the users get to see it. So it's like I'm making sure that the users have a good experience through like the way that I test that happen. Like I've been blessed to work on a lot of really dope features here at MailChimp, like the landing pages features, some e-commerce features, like social posting. Like you could like do automatic posts on like social media and stuff like that on MailChimp. The websites feature, appointments, like all those things, all these things that small businesses need, especially since this pandemic. Like everybody's got to go online now. So like we have to pivot and shift really quickly to start building websites and doing a whole bunch of stuff so that people can have like an online business. Yeah. So like kind of in tandem with like your perspective is like, I'm helping these businesses have this most simplest, most efficient experience getting their stuff online and being effective with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And in turn, that's blessing their employees, that they don't have to lay people off. The business is able to function. People are able to keep their jobs, able to pay their bills, able to feed their families, able to live life, all that good stuff. Yeah, man, it's definitely a blessing. And I mean, obviously this isn't just for us. I hope that this blesses people no matter what job you have. You can actually truly see your job as something that's blessing the world. I know so often we kind of get caught up where we all, you know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing. But sometimes we think like, oh, I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to work for somebody else. And it's like, I think sometimes if we pull back and we stop thinking about just working for somebody else and we start thinking about what our job does in the world and how it blesses people and how God uses it. Whether or not you're an entrepreneur, just whether or not you're even in tech, like just really thinking about it that way, like, yo, how is God using this job that I'm doing, and how in some kind of way is this blessing other people and helping their life in a big way? I think that perspective shift is incredibly important, and I think it'll like fulfill individuals even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's bigger than us, man. It's like we're hoping. It's like our target market is small businesses. So it's like entrepreneurs, people that have a dream and they want to get on. They don't know anything about tech or anything like that, or how to do a marketing plan or anything like that. Like MailChimp makes it really, really simple for small businesses to get online and like really make an impact really fast. So it's an honor to be able to work on an app like this.
Yeah, man. MailChimp is fire. It's a fire company. And yeah, I was hearing about how MailChimp chose to focus on small businesses when so many other companies kept wanting to go after enterprise companies and stuff like that. I didn't even know what an enterprise company was until like 6 months ago, and now I'll be talking like this. All right, so let's get to these questions, man. I see a few people put questions in the question box. I don't know why only 2 questions are showing right now. I see just call me KC. I think you've gotten a badge. I know Crystal __ Harvey got a badge. So again, prioritizing people who've gotten badges, and then I'm going to be answering those questions. So Crystal _ Harvey asks, oh, my question is for you, Cyrus. How soon did you get hired after the boot camp, and did any of your previous experience help you get hired? So how soon did I get hired after the boot camp, and did any of my previous experiences get me hired? So I got hired 2 months later. I did a tech boot camp. It was 4-week boot camp. I actually started a week late, so I technically only did 3 weeks. I got in a week late, and I like rewatched the recorded classes to catch up. So I did 4-week boot camp. After the 4 weeks, it took me 2 months to the day to get hired. E-Man said, oh, where's the box? It's down below. It should be like a question mark. Not a box, it's more of a circle. I said question box. Yeah, oh my bad, it's the plus sign. You have to hit the plus sign. Yeah, so you hit the plus sign and then the question box comes up. So it took me 2 months. And no, it wasn't bad. I paid, I think it was it was somewhere between $3,500 and $4,000. I got hired, and literally in my first month working, I got that money back. So, you know, we think so much about like, you know, and I don't want to, I kind of rag on going to college, but college is a great thing. I actually kind of wish I went to college sometimes. I don't wish I had that college debt. Praise God, I don't have that. But it's like people go to college, $40,000 in debt, and then the college doesn't help them get a job or get into a career. It's just like a certification. Like Carl's a college graduate. He more educated than me. He's smart. He got all that. But it's like, yo, it was literally his work in God's favor that allowed him, like he aggressively, y'all heard it, so he aggressively was applying. The tech boot camp, they helped me get a job. They like applied way more than I can apply and set me up really well in some cool ways. So yeah, so it took me 2 months to get a job, and literally the money that I paid for the tech boot camp, it was recouped within like that month of working at that job. So I don't have any school education debt at all. And so that's a great thing. That's a blessing. Yeah. So essentially the whole thing took me a 3-month process. So I guess that's the answer to the question. I don't want to go too much on that. Oh, did my previous experience, my bad, the second part of her question, did my previous experience help? Yes and no. The tech boot camp that I did, they, specifically Careerist, the one that I've been talking about, one of the ones I've been talking about, they help you restructure your resume Literally, they help you reword it. So literally, it says literally what your background was, whatever you did. So even if you didn't do anything, so I've had sales positions, but even if I didn't have sales positions, they word everything in a way to where it's kind of hard to explain it this way. I'll just say what they do because I don't want to talk around it, and then it seems like weird. A lot of times when you apply for companies, especially bigger companies, tech companies, they get 1,000 resumes. Their AI, they have a system that actually reads through resumes. It scans resumes really fast. And it looks for certain trigger words on the resume. And then it sorts your resume, it ranks your resume based on how many certain keywords with industry words your resume has on it. If your resume doesn't have a certain amount of those industry words or trigger words on it, the AI says, hey, nope, it ranks your resume really low. And that's why many times the company never even does an over-the-phone interview with you. So Careerist, whether or not you have any type of background, they help you word things in a way that it has some of those trigger words, but also the things they teach you during the tech bootcamp. This is both careers and pre-hire. The things they teach you during the tech bootcamp, that obviously those things they add to your resume as well. They literally take your resume, they put the things on there that they taught you, but they make sure that they highlight certain features and words that matter to let your resume rank higher to increase the likelihood of you getting called for an interview. And that's why I did so many interviews. I couldn't even keep up with them. My phone was ringing. Somebody was like, hey, Cyrus, you ready for the interview? I was like, I got an interview? I didn't even know I had an interview. And so all of that. So I could have probably got a job a month later if I had been more organized. I've said this already. Nevertheless, God was good. Yeah. I got literally the company that I really wanted to get in at the end of the day. God looked out. Carl, you about to say something, bro?
There was another thing I wanted to say too, like with the resume writing stuff. So like when you're applying to these tech jobs, like they have this thing called like this ATS system.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
ATS system. So it's like it doesn't hit a person until it goes through like this ATS system. So like the system's looking for like certain keywords that are in the job description that you need to have in your resume for it to like really pick up. So like there's this I'll type it in the chat. There's this website called JobScan.
Yeah, where it'll scan your resume for you and tell you the likelihood. Yeah.
And it'll tell you like what you need to fix and all that stuff. It'll tell you like what percentage, like how your resume compares to like the job description and like what percent it is, I guess. Like how accurate it is according to the job description.
Yeah, no, that's super good. I got some friends that are just trying to apply for tech positions cold, and they have no background, nothing at all, and they're just using their resume. And I'm like, bruh, I don't know about that, bruh. I was like, I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna get in nothing, but I would just say like, I just don't know about that, bruh. Yeah. So all right, so good question. Let's move on to another one. All right, so just call me Casey. I believe you've gotten a badge. I'm going to trust that you did. Again, for anybody else that's asking questions, make sure that you did get a badge. Oh, just call me Casey, did it? Oh. All right, so we're going to stand by just call me Casey until check on that because I want to keep my word.
I want to answer that question.
Okay, no, they didn't. So we'll stand by until just call me Casey. So just call me Casey. Get a badge. It could be $1, just a little buck. It ain't gotta be nothing heavy, nothing big. No, it didn't. So the bro, E-Man Bishop, he did the same tech bootcamp I did. He was my guest last week. E-Man Bishop, his question was, do you think you need to move to QA automation? So of course that question is directed towards Carl. So either think you need to, or do you think you'd want to at some point? Because I do know usually QA automation pays more than manual QA. I know you're not super money driven, which is great. First off, you're already getting paid well, so you ain't got to really be more money driven than you are now. God is providing. Nevertheless, I know usually QA automation offers more of an uptick usually on pay, maybe opportunities. But I guess, what are your thoughts? Are you considering moving to QA automation, or are you like fine just being in manual QA and you feel like you're in your spot?
I don't like coding.
He said that multiple times. He was like, I don't like coding.
That's the answer. I don't like coding.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, but just in a general sense, I think QA in general is going to get more technical. So you're going to have to learn like a lot more technical skills and stuff like that to expand and to grow. Doesn't necessarily have to be coding, but like a lot of people I've seen, even at MailChimp, like they go from QA to QA automation. Like even like this month, like some people that came in through support went to QA, they transferred over to QA automation.
How fast did that transition happen?
Really fast. Really, really fast. Well, not over exaggerate. The person that I know that transitioned to QA automation, I think they've been in QA for like maybe a year or two.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not. I mean, that's fast, but that's not like super crazy.
Yeah,
rocket speed fast.
And also in MailChimp, like there's like an apprenticeship program. So it's like if there's a job that you're really wanting to get into or whatever, like if there's an apprenticeship program for it, they can set you up so you can spend time with, like, say you want to go from QA to being like a designer or something like that. So it's like you can do an apprenticeship under the designers, and like through that process, like that designer could vouch for you, like if a position opens up either internally or externally, or they could even like create a position for you. Like you never know, but the opportunity is there, you know.
Yeah, I've heard about companies like liking someone so much that they've created they've created positions for that person just to hire them. I'm like, man, y'all got too much money to throw around. Y'all could be like, we're gonna create a position for you to work here. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the next question. All right,
did that answer the question?
Yeah. The question was, do you think you will move to QA automation? You answered the question.
I need to.
Yeah.
I think the answer is I think QA is going to get a lot more technical.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to need to learn more like technical skills and stuff.
Yeah, I think with me too. I interviewed with the company yesterday. So every sales engineering position, like QA, like manual QA, every sales engineering position isn't exactly the same with every company. Sometimes they require more or less, whatever. I interviewed with the company yesterday. They want me to eventually learn some coding or do some coding. And I was like, okay, cool. So my pushback was, I said, are y'all going to pay for my education? I said, if I do some type of coding boot camp or if I do some conference, whatever, I said, are y'all going to pay? I said, what is y'all's money, y'all stipend? And the interviewer didn't know. He was like, oh, actually, because he's only been at the company 2 months. He didn't know. So he said, he's technically, if I would work at that company, which I'm probably not, I'm probably going to stay at my company. I love my company. He was like, oh, I got to ask. He's only been there 2 months. I'm 2 weeks, and he'll technically be my boss if I were to go there. And so I tell them what I want. I say, yo, okay, if I'm going to leave my company, y'all have to pay me this much. He was like, yeah, cool. We could do that. I get an email later that night. They confirm for me that they can't, that they don't currently offer compensation for education. Basically, they won't pay for my education for me to learn coding. So I was like, okay, so I emailed him. I hit him up on LinkedIn. I emailed him. And I said, well, look, I said, if y'all are not going to pay for my education, I said, then y'all need to add that money on top of what y'all are going to pay me. So essentially, y'all need to pay me about $10,000 or $15,000 more a year if I'm going to do some type of like boot camp or something to further my own education. And so I haven't checked my emails since I got off work today, when I finished work today at like 5 o'clock. So I don't know if they responded back yet. I know they're still hitting me up trying to continue the interview process. I'm like, bro, y'all ain't responded to the other email about y'all paying me more. I ain't about to keep going with the interview process and y'all ain't gonna pay me this more. So anyway, just random. But yeah, like just like with QA, some companies, I do think maybe even with sales engineers, there's a possibility that more and more companies will almost demand that we'll have to do some type of coding. I don't like it, just like you. It's not my cup of tea. Nevertheless, I'm gonna go where the money reside. Where the money reside. Where the money reside. I'm gonna go where the Lord sent me, but I'm gonna just pray that where He send me is where the money is residing. I'm be like, Lord, please send me where the money reside. Where the money reside. Where the money reside. All right, so all right, so just call me KC. They purchased. All right, so I'm going to skip over until I get confirmation. Just call me KC has gotten a badge. No disrespect, but just honoring people who have gotten badges, showing they love. All right, so Day Samuel. Okay. All right, so Day Samuel looks like has not gotten a badge. So I see 6 badges. Let me see who all got a badge. Okay, oh yeah, a few people got badges, but not
questions.
Not the people that are asking the questions. So see another question just popped up. Maybe it's from somebody who got a badge. All right, Crystal asked another question. All right, Crystal says, do you think being a woman or minority helps you get hired quicker than other applicants since those 2 demographics are underrepresented? I'll let you answer first. Do you think being a woman and a minority helps you to get hired quicker since those 2, both being a woman and being a minority, are underrepresented in tech?
In my opinion, this is my opinion, I say yes, because a lot of companies are focused a lot on diversity and inclusion. I always mess that up. But yeah, so even with like MailChimp, like a lot of people, like not even with MailChimp, just the tech space in general, like a lot of opportunities are open in like really high positions for people of color and people that are minority or underrepresented. So yeah, that could really open up, like that door is really open for us.
Yeah, I completely agree. Literally, I see companies, a lot of these tech companies, and I talk to different hiring managers, and I'm going to bring on hiring managers in the future, not to the public lives, but to my when I go private with the Patreon community. The reason why is because I don't want to bring those people onto these lives and weirdos just pop in and say something weird and it like mess up my relationships or future opportunities. Anyway, that being said, different hiring managers that I've been talking to, and different people that are in senior positions in tech, one of the things that they share with me, even the ones that just, most of the ones I'm talking to are not like Black. A lot of them are white or even Asian, and some Hispanic. And when I'm talking to them, one of the things that they're transparent about is like, yo, like we're trying to hire more. Like they really want to hire more. They're just saying the issue is that there's a very small pool. So on one end, because there's such a small pool, like either one, it's such a small pool, and 2, they also have to make sure that they're not just doing a diversity hire. The person still needs to have some kind of qualification, like something. And so they can't like make the business suffer just for the sake of hiring someone who basically who's not a white male. And so they're trying to stretch themselves, but they do need to make sure that they're still being considerate, that they want to hire a person that, 1, is going to do the job fairly well and they can train the person up. But 2, they want to make sure that they're hiring a person that's good for the culture. Because again, what Carl shared about MailChimp's culture, what I talk about with Downpad, E-Man, when he was on here last week, and he talked about HubSpot and their culture, the amazing culture. These companies, yes, part of the culture is because it comes from the top down. It comes from them creating that culture, but it also comes from them hiring well. These companies, that's one of the reasons why they're very particular of who they hire, because they know whoever they hire can mess up the culture of that company. It can cause a variety of issues. And so they do try to be cautious and careful about who they're bringing into the company to make sure that person is a good fit for the culture. So they're looking for people, but they want people to be educated, fairly educated. And 2, the other issue is that because, and this is to the benefit, because there are so few women of color, because there are so few men of color that are in tech, a lot of companies are fighting over us. So it's hard for them to even keep someone at their company, because companies are like vultures. Every time I post something on LinkedIn, I get like 3 companies hitting me up, asking me, do I like my company? How much are they paying me? Can they offer? What can they do to get me to leave my company? And so one, it's a limited talent pool. Two, they want to make sure that talent pool is actually talented and good for their company and culture. And three, literally everyone's getting snatched up. So part of what I'm trying to do is encourage more people to get into tech, because it's like, yo, it's completely different than normal jobs. Like normal jobs, it's like you don't have other companies hitting you up trying to offer you more money or offer you more options and, you know, and get you that way. Normal jobs, you don't have like companies vying to get you. They treat you just like whatever, just clock in, do your job type of thing. Whereas these companies, the culture is healthier, the benefits are better, the pay is much better, the opportunities are beautiful, and these companies really strive to go above and beyond to love our culture. Remember, I told y'all, for those who were listening in, when I went to Carl's company, when I went to MailChimp, that was Juneteenth. It was literally June 17th. Like his company was celebrating Juneteenth. That was like what, 3 years ago? That was before all the stuff that happened. That was before COVID. That was before George Floyd. That was before Breonna Taylor, before Ahmaud Arbery, so on and so forth. His company wasn't doing that as a response to everything that happened in 2020. His company was hearing their employees, hearing their Black employees, and they were like, yo, we're going to start as a company celebrating Juneteenth. Even today, my company had a conference celebrating Black people. It was a virtual conference celebrating Black staff and Black people that were there. And I didn't have to work. They literally made sure they took like a few hours off for no one to have to work to enjoy this conference. And they're constantly doing things like that. Yeah. So again, these companies really do strive to go above and beyond to service their community, service their employees, their teams, make people feel extremely welcome that are there. So I'll go there. I'm kind of like going in super deep on that, but I just want to kind of touch on these things. Everyone doesn't need to be in tech. Tech is not the only great place to be in at all. It's just, I say this time and time again, like, it's just such a blessing. It's like, man, if you're not someone where you're like, okay, you're already in your dream career, or you're already, you know, making a ridiculous amount of money and you're doing well, it's like, man, consider it. Pray about it, consider it, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing, better blessing than the vast majority of everything that's out there in these ghetto streets.
Yeah. And even just like, if you get in tech, like, you don't have to do like a super technical, you could be a technical recruiter, you know, and work for like a dope tech company like yours or like mine or whatever, and still get like the benefits that we've been talking about. So you could do like a more people-centric role. Like, you could be a manager, you could be a people organizer. I think that's what kind of what they call it, people operations and stuff like that, or like communications, anything like that, and still reap the benefits of working at a tech company. And from there, that I could like spark your interest in something like more technical down the line or whatever. But yeah, I would highly recommend that you try to dip your toes into the tech waters.
You know, that's good. I'm happy that you touched on that. All right, beloved_Toyin. Okay, beloved_Toyin asks, what does a day in the life of a manual QA look like? What are some challenges you faced as a new manual QA? A day in the life, and what are some challenges you faced when you were new?
Day in the life, that could change from day to day.
Yeah,
that could change from day to day. So typically, like, when we're developing a new feature or something like that, I would create a test plan and put all the user stories. So what, I got to explain the agile process. So the way apps are developed with MailChimp, like, we use what's called an agile development process. So like, we take like this big feature and we break it down into like, we're going to work on this part of the feature for 2 weeks. Then we're going to work on this part of the feature for 2 weeks, and this part of the feature for 2 weeks. And then we break everything that we need down into what's called user stories. It's like these little tiny bits of work that the developers are going to use, or developers are going to, you know, code. And so I go through that. I see if there's anything that the developers finished and that's in testing that's ready for me to go through, and I go through those. and I connect with the developers, like if I have any questions or anything like that, or if I find a bug or something like that. And that's another thing too that you really want to hone in on as a QA, is developing a good relationship with your developers. It's like, if you like really think about it, it's kind of like the QA is trying to break what it could be like.
Yeah, literally tell them what they did wrong.
Like,
You're literally like, yeah, you did this wrong, this is stupid, this sucks, this is dumb.
Yeah. So you want to develop a good rapport with them so that they know it's not that. In my experience, it hasn't been that.
Yeah, they'll never think like you just being shady and being petty. And
it hasn't been that, but that could definitely be an issue. So yeah, talking through different features and stuff, meetings, dev design meetings. So QA and design, like they kind of work hand in hand too. So like design is like they design. I'm just using the same word again, but design they basically like build like what the app is gonna look like from like a user experience or user interface standpoint, and then the developers, like they code like the back end functionality of it and stuff. So like in with QA and design, it's like I'm looking at the design and like the look and feel, and I'm like, okay, like this flow and stuff like that makes sense, or this doesn't make sense. And another good skill to have as a QA is the ability to like ask really good questions and have critical thinking skills. So it's like, even if you're not actively like touching the app at that moment, like even in the planning sessions, you can start asking questions and thinking through like how a user would use this product, and asking those questions so you could fix things like on the front end before like we even get to the development stage.
I think that kind of makes me think one of the consistent traits, like when people ask me like, hey, what does it take to get in tech, to be in tech, whatever. One of the things I tell people is like, yo, you can't be lazy, because these aren't not like jobs to just be lazy. Like they're paying you money. And I've noticed some people that have hit me up, they just kind of want to kick their feet up and just kind of do like just whatever. And I'm like, these are not those kind of jobs, like at all. It's fun. Every day is different. Even as a sales engineer, every day is different. My schedule is different. Some days I don't have to work until 12 p.m. Some days I got to work at 8:30 a.m. Most days it's usually like 10:30 a.m. Some days I'm done working at 3 o'clock. Some days, like today, I'm not done until closer to 6 o'clock. And so every day is different. The cases are different. Everything's different. So the one thing I always tell people is like, yo, like literally come to work. But also, I think one of the things I've noticed is that companies seem to like people. They seem to want people that are competent, because again, a lot of these jobs are not manual labor jobs. I know you do manual QA, manuals in the name, but we're not doing like manual labor jobs. So these jobs, they want, I could tell a lot, like, because everyone that I talk to in my company, most of them, there's one or two people, but most people are very competent. And even the ones that aren't super competent, they will go above and beyond with their work ethic to compensate for it, to make sure they're asking questions, make sure they're studying a lot. And that's just one of the things I've seen. So I would say to someone who is considering tech, or even considering manual QA, just listen on some of the things Carl is saying, is like, yo, really take account. Are you a competent person? You don't have to be a genius, because I'm not a genius by any stretch of the imagination. I like to act like I'm a genius sometimes, but I'm really not that smart. I know how to fake like I'm super smart, but I'm really not that smart. It's like, but they care for competency. They care about competency and someone who's coming to work.
Yeah, that's true. And even like Cyrus was saying, like if you don't feel like you're competent, be willing to be humble and ask questions.
Yes.
And say like when you don't know something.
Yeah.
Like especially at MailChimp, like one of our core values is humility. It's like being able to like admit when you're wrong, or when you mess something up, or like if you don't know anything or whatever. Like you'd be surprised that people are really willing and able to reach out and help you. So I think another part of it was like what was one of the challenges that I had. I guess gearing on with like how fast stuff moves. Like stuff moves really, really, really fast in the tech industry.
What do you mean by that? You mean with things changing, or what do you mean exactly?
Things changing, like the app getting developed super duper fast, like the things you gotta learn right away. Like I said, like the app's super huge, and like the different roles that people have is like I still don't know like what everybody does.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like,
I have a lot of coworkers. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what you do. Like, like I don't know what your job entails.
Yeah. And it's like all of it like works together with like the app and like the release of the feature and stuff like that. So you got to know that stuff. You got to know who to reach out to, what teams to ask questions to, and stuff like that. And like how your role affects like the app as a whole. That's one thing like I didn't really get is like the global impact of like my role at first.
Man, bro, you know what would have been crazy? It would have been wild if before MailChimp got bought by Intuit, and I know it's still MailChimp. It would have been wild if I eventually would have applied to MailChimp again and been like a sales engineer there. And we would have been coworkers at MailChimp. Yeah. That might happen in the future. Who knows? Who knows? Stay tuned for the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
That's funny.
All right, so let's look at these other questions. All right, that was a great question, beloved Toyin. Thank you for that. All right, so Brown_like-mocha. Okay. All right, so Brown_like-mocha says, other than critical thinking, what are other skills expected or good to hone for QA or sales engineer positions? I would say for sales engineer, I would say as a sales engineer, as a sales engineer, you have to have like a bit of I don't say you have to, but you at least have to like fake like a sociable personality. So one of the things like with my company and other companies I'm super chill, like very, you know how like sometimes in interviews and stuff or just in general, like how there are certain people that are like very kind of rigid, and like literally the way y'all see me now is the way that I was like in my interviews. Of course I was like more professional, dressed professional, things like that. But personality is very like sociable, trying to be like, you know, quick on my toes, things like that. Cause that's what they look for as a sales engineer or solutions engineer. Cause one of the things they always say is that like, yo, we can teach you the technical stuff, but we can't teach you to be personable. We can't teach you to be sociable. We can't teach you to know how to talk to different personalities and different people, or know how to read a room and fill things out. So I would say that if you're someone where you really, really struggle with reading the room, or you're someone where you just don't, like, I'm a huge people person. I love people. I love interacting with people, all of that. So I'm a huge people person. So even though my job is hard, it's like as soon as I'm on a demo, I come alive. You know, it's almost like stage, like when I used to perform all the time on stages. It's like I never liked the process of writing a poem or working on my craft. My thing was when I got on stage, I loved ministering. I loved performing, whatever you want to call it. I love it. That's when I came to life. And so as a solutions engineer, you don't need to be a person that's like that. I know solution engineers that are more like chill. Everyone has their own style, but each solutions engineer is a person that is not uncomfortable talking, because that's literally what you do. You talk. You're talking, you're explaining things, you're a teacher, you're an educator. People will ask you a question that'll throw you off guard and you can't get rattled. You have to have a poker face. Every day I get 10 questions by different customers where I get so rattled, but I play it off and I'm like, I actually don't know that answer. Or I'll say, let's find out. And I'll dig through things. And the whole time my heart is like, the entire time that I just put this thing on camera and I'm just playing it off cool. And I'm like, yeah, woo, but really everything in my mind going, bro, oh my God. Everything going crazy. But I play it off really chill. And literally that's one of the things my seniors talk about at the company. They're like, Cyrus, you have an amazing poker face. And so anyway, I would say ultimately just be personable to a degree. Be personable, be likable, not saying I'm the most likable person in the world, but be a person that at least when people connect with you on a call, they actually want to hear you. You know, they want to hear and see you demonstrate, talk about the product and have some personality with it. So I'll say that's something that's good for being a solutions engineer. E-Man, bro, if you're still here in the comments, I would love for you to probably like comment like your thoughts as a sales engineer as well.
That's
All
good
right, bro.
stuff,
Can you
man.
answer that question as a manual QA?
Yeah, that's good. You gotta probably pray through that too, man. It's like, yo, Holy Spirit, I don't know what the answer to this is, guys, but help. Nah, as a QA, I think really paying attention to detail and having good communication skills. 'Cause I think someone put in the comments soft skills.
Yeah.
And being able to think outside the box. Thinking of like different. I don't like the idea of like breaking. They try to get us out of like the mindset of like we're about to break the product or whatever. It's like we want to make the product as beautiful and simple.
Yeah, that's a better way to think about it.
Like even like the way that the MailChimp products are designed, like we make it so like you can't make ugly stuff with our product. So yeah, just keeping that in mind. User empathy too. Definitely, like if you have the opportunity to sit in with user interviews, so like you could see like how that's something that we've done with MailChimp. It's like the UX researcher, like they'll bring in like some actual users that are really using the app, and like they're taking them through like different parts of the feature before like we're done developing it. So like, they could be like, oh, like I wish the app did this or whatever. It's like, oh, we didn't even think about that. So let's put that into it too. And it's like, so the QA can ask questions to the users and stuff too. So it's like really understanding the user, understanding their needs. And stuff, you could really test effectively.
So it sounds like a level of
empathy, compassion,
a little bit of emotional
intelligence,
all that.
Yeah, all that. And that's a big thing with MailChimp, man. Like I remember with the landing pages feature, like before you actually publish the page, like they would have like this monkey finger that would like be sweating before it like touches a button. So it's kind of like that nervous, like, oh, I'm about to launch my landing page type of thing. So it's like the entire app is about empathy and like, like there's like a human connection, even though it's an app. So
yeah, that's dope. That's real beautiful. Yeah, I appreciate the QA testers, manual QA, because when I'm demoing the product to customers and I hear them say wow, or they like something like literally where something is layered. I hear customers say all the time when I'm demoing my company's product, they're like, yo, this is so beautiful the way it's layered out. And I always think like, that's our part of that is like our manual QA team. Literally their input, their opinion, them thinking of what's a beautiful workflow for a user. How do I want to navigate through a product? Certain features and components. So that's super dope. We're gonna get to these other questions. Y'all, we are going to wrap up. We're gonna wrap up at 10:15. Might wrap up a little sooner than that, depending on how many questions are in here. But I just want to give people a heads up. These questions are out of order. Instagram puts the questions in like out of order. I'm gonna check for Just Call Me KC one more time. Just Call Me KC. Get it? Okay. All right. Cool. We're gonna move on from Just Call Me KC. All right. Late underscore the great. Or light underscore the great. All right, so no. All right, so late underscore the great. Only answering questions for people who got badges. This is a good question. So for future reference, so you know. All right, Brown Like Mocha. That was a good question, Brown Like Mocha. Thank you for that. Crystal underscore Harvey asked another question. She says, what's something that you wish you would have known starting out that you know now? That's a good question. That's a very good question.
A really good question.
Y'all asked some good questions.
Yeah. Something I wish I would have known. Dang, that's stumped. Wish I would have known a lot of stuff.
I would say some of the things I would say, I wish I had have gotten in tech sooner. And that's just me. I feel like I just wasn't paying attention. Part of it was because I was so focused on what I wanted to do and just thinking what I wanted to do was just going to be like some like super dope thing, that I, as a man, wasn't pulling back, and really like looking across the board and seeing the way of the world, the way the world is going, and seeing like opportunities that would help me be a good provider for my future family. That's one of the things I care a lot about, is being like a good provider for my wife, my future family. I care so much about that. That's something that drives me so very much. And I just feel like I wasn't thinking enough in that sense. And when I finally started thinking that way, that's when it hit me where I was at financially, and where my life was at the age that I'm at. And so I wish I had gotten into tech sooner. I know that's not really the direction of the question that she's asking. I would say more so the question might be like, what did I wish I had known about sales engineering before I had gotten into it? I would probably say, do you have anything to that specific part of the question yet?
Yeah, I probably would have said, I wish I would have like stayed like consistent with like learning more about the tech field. Like when I was, like I said, like I was out of it for like a year, but I wish I would have stayed consistent with like learning and like developing myself more intentionally during that time. I think it would have given me like a bigger, I guess a bigger like head start when I started like really working in the field. It's like I had to catch up a lot when I got back into it. And another thing with me is like, I think I wish I would have just like not been stubborn and just learned like more technical stuff just to do it. Like you're not going to like every part about every job sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wish I would have just bit the bullet and just did that. It's like sometimes even like now, like I'm in meetings and stuff like that. And like some stuff is like flying over my head. I can catch some of it. It's like when the developers are talking and stuff, it's like, I think I would have like more of a, more valuable things to share if I knew like more of like the technical stuff behind it.
Yeah.
And then like while we were in the office, I think just like networking and connecting with people more. I was like, we didn't expect to be at home for this long.
Oh yeah. So now it's like you wish you would have spent a little bit more time with some of your coworkers and stuff.
Yeah. And like connecting, like learning more about like their experience and like how they like further their career and stuff like that, so I could do better with mine.
Yeah, now that's good. I really don't know. Maybe I'm too early in my career to answer this question. Maybe in another 6 months or a year I can answer that question. That's a great question though. What I wish I had have known before. All right, so Brown _ like Mocha, I think they got a badge now. I think I saw them get a badge. Oh yeah, they've been got a badge. Yeah, they asked. She asked another question. She said, "What is the day in the life of a QA and sales engineer?" I think so. You already answered the question in terms of the day in the life of a QA. The day in the life of a sales engineer, man, it changes. I would say things that are pretty consistent. So this is basically my schedule. When I wake up in the morning and I come and sit down right here, I'm usually sitting here. I'm actually sitting down sometimes 2, sometimes 3 hours before I even have to work. Literally, but it's because my work starts before I work, meaning I have demos I have to do. I have clients, sometimes it's CEOs of companies, it's IT people of companies, it's top managers, whatever, and I'm going to demo our product for them. But before I demo the product, different sales reps have set up the meetings, and they have a list, they have a bunch of notes as to what that customer wants to see me demo. Because again, I could literally demo our company's product, and I could spend 5 hours demoing the whole product. Literally 5 hours going through every single feature. And like Carl was saying earlier, MailChimp is very robust. I'm sure I could probably, if I was one of their sales engineers, they could probably spend 8 hours, 10 hours demoing every single little feature and nook and cranny about every part of MailChimp and their products. So every customer, every demo is tailored specifically to a customer. So it's almost like, I would say it's like this. This will give perspective to people. It's almost like, say say your company's product is the Bible. And every time, let's say you're a Bible counselor. Let's say you wake up, you have a meeting to meet with 4 or 5 different people that have very, very, very complex spiritual issues, emotional issues, psychological issues. They got stuff going on in their past. They literally send to you all of their problems that they're having that they need you to fix. And they want to know how is your Bible, your education, your knowledge going to help you fix it. It's up to you to prepare ahead of time to choose which scriptures are literally these scriptures you need to share with them. What steps to healing you need to share with them, what resources you need to give to them, what prayer you need to say. It's literally, you have to tailor it specific to the person. You're not gonna literally read the Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelation, because again, that would take days, weeks, months.
Yeah.
But instead, you're going to strategically choose about maybe 10 to 20 scriptures that apply specifically to their scenario, that'll basically show them, oh my gosh, what you just subscribed to me, your Bible is literally the thing that I need. So yeah, I might not think I need the whole thing right now. I only think I need the pieces you showed me. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and purchase that whole thing. So as a sales engineer, that's basically my job. I get up, I look at my calendar of customers that I have to talk to throughout the day. Again, I don't set these up. These are just put on my calendar. They show up on a virtual meeting, and I basically take them on a journey through my company's product. But I only talk about the parts of the product that will help their business, help them get the results that they're trying to get. So that's the bulk of what I do. Outside of that is me studying my company's tech, me learning more about it, kind of similar to like a pastor studying his Bible, learning more about his Bible. So that way, when he gets up on Sunday to preach, he is articulating the scripture very well to his people, to his community. So I have to study a lot of the components about my company's product, as well as the technology, as well as the history, understanding the market. Again, just like a pastor, understanding what's happening in the world so he can address his church accordingly. I have to understand our competitors, understand what's changing in the market, understand old technology for people that still have that old stuff, and understand newer technology and how our stuff works with it. So literally, that's all it is. I'm studying and I'm demoing. Studying, demoing, studying, demoing. And then I have all day throughout the day, people are hitting me up for my company, asking me technical questions. Just like all day throughout the day, people might email a pastor asking him, hey, pastor, what do you think about this? What do you think about this scripture? How do you view this? And a pastor giving his input on it to members of his church, him emailing them. So that's basically what my job is. Studying, demoing, and answering questions for people. That's my job in a nutshell.
That's good.
All right, so we got a couple more questions in here, and then we're gonna wrap up. One thing, I'm gonna ask if no one else can send any questions in, because we are about to wrap up with this last 1 or 2 questions. If you're someone who submitted a question and you purchased a badge, and for some reason I'm not seeing it, because again, Instagram could be kind of weird. I've heard people say that, hey, I put a question in, I didn't see it, and I literally am just seeing what Instagram is showing me. Let me know.
Yeah, Instagram needs to get QA.
They need some better manual QA people.
They need some. I didn't think of that one.
That's funny.
That's funny.
So I'm gonna look at the questions I haven't answered. Just call me KC. All right, cool. Jasmine Summers. You say yeah? Okay, cool. I can't see because the light, literally lights in my face. Jasmine Summers asked, does MailChimp have training for their developers to go through in order to code more securely so that hackers can't hack in? And how many developers does MailChimp have? MailChimp probably got a lot of developers. Yeah, what you talking about?
A lot of developers.
They probably got a lot. I mean, you can look it up on, you can probably look it up on LinkedIn, because a lot of these companies on LinkedIn, they'll have positions and usually have like how many people they have in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I guess to the first question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but it's really will direct the question to you since it's your company. The first part being, does MailChimp have training for their developers to go through in order to code more securely so that hackers can't hack in?
Yeah, we got to go through. I'm not a developer, but just in a general sense, like all of us have to go through security training each year. I think it's like a couple times a year. We got to go through security training to make sure we're up to par with like the new security protocols. Because people have tried to hack MailChimp like crazy. So yeah, like crazy. There was like this thing with Russia, like it was just really weird. But yeah, people have tried to hack MailChimp a lot. So like we're really, really, really big on security. We have our own security team. Like if we find like even like today, bro, like someone hit me up, someone texted me, like claiming like they were like a manager from Intuit. And it was like, yo, this is my I tried to call you. This is, can I text you or something like this? A manager from Intuit. And I was like, bro, what? So yeah, basically like there are a lot of security protocols that we have to make sure that we're secure. What was the second part of the question?
Well, she wanted to know how many developers they have. And I'm looking at it right now on LinkedIn. I'm going to try to do some quick math because I see where all of the developers live. There's 104. So MailChimp has 141 developers that live in the United States. Most of them live in Atlanta. 100 of them live in Atlanta. Outside of the United States, they have one developer that lives in Brazil, in one part of Brazil. They have a developer that lives in Canada. They actually have two developers that live in two different parts of Canada, and two different developers that live in two different parts of Brazil. One developer that lives in Switzerland, and one developer that lives in India. So altogether, they have about close to like 180 developers.
That's just on LinkedIn.
This isn't accounting for the ones that don't have a LinkedIn page.
Yeah, that's just what they put on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like I was saying, man, like MailChimp will like pay for you to like go through like different trainings and stuff like that. And obviously we offer like free trainings and stuff too. But even like free courses and stuff, like we had like LinkedIn Learning for some time. I don't know if it's still free for us yet, with like the acquisition and all that. But But yeah, like we make sure like you have all the resources you need to be successful and efficient at your job.
That's good. All right, so Day Samuel. All right. Sorry, Day Samuel, we're not seeing you with the badge, so we're gonna skip past that. And I think, those are all the questions. Let's see if someone's gotten a badge. Again, if you're someone who got a badge, and you asked a question, I'm pretty sure we answered all the questions for everybody who's gotten a badge. If you're someone who's gotten a badge and your question was not answered, please let me know. I would just let me know on the back end. Like, hey, no, I purchased a badge. My question wasn't answered. Cyrus, we got some smoke. We got some beef type stuff. Let me know. And I will make sure that either on the next live, we'll do something. We'll work something out. For you. But bro, I guess I want to let you share last words of what you would share with people, your heart behind, I guess, what you think about people in general, but also people who are looking for an opportunity, your thoughts about if they should consider tech, all of that. Like, what would you share with people?
Yeah, I would highly encourage you, if you have the opportunity to consider tech. Like I was saying, it doesn't have to be super technical. Like you could have like a people-centric role but just technology in general, where the world is going, it's like you can't avoid it.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. So it's like you might as well like at least try to get your foot in somewhere.
Yeah.
The money's definitely there.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, the impact is definitely going to be there if that's what you want. And make sure like when you get in the tech space to like find something that you like really enjoy doing. Because like I said, I don't like coding. So I wasn't gonna put myself in that situation, you know, like I turned down like different things because like I didn't want to go down that route. Especially if it's something that I'm gonna spend like the majority of my time doing, you know. And networking, man. Networking was like a really, really, really big key to getting in the tech field, man. Like I didn't share this part of the story, but like throughout that time where I was interviewing and stuff, like I would connect with like different people, and there was this one person, his name was Anthony. I'll never forget him. Like we exchanged numbers, and he was like coaching me through like how to like build my resume and how to network with people, how to message people on LinkedIn where there was like a job that I was interested in. Like he gave me like this template for how to do it. It was like, yo, I'm Carl, like this is my experience, yada yada yada. Like he put me through, like he put me in the game, man. So like don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask questions, network with recruiters on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is like really like the spot to like really try to get your foot in.
It is. LinkedIn is popping. LinkedIn is like people don't know. LinkedIn is popping.
Yeah, LinkedIn is the spot.
LinkedIn is really, really, really popping for real. It really is. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I guess I'll share this, then I'll pray out. So a couple things. Again, for people who missed this earlier, the tech bootcamp that I did, Careerist, they are doing a 30% off deal right now. Their next course that starts next week is a manual QA course. So again, they're doing 30% off. If you use the link in my bio, then they also give you an extra $100 off as well with that. So use the link in my bio, let them know whatever. If you don't want to use the link in my bio, totally cool. Just go to their site, and they're having a 30% off right now. And the next course is for manual QA. So I encourage people to take advantage of that. If you are someone where you're like, hey, look, I have no money and I'm not going to have any money. I'm trying to get into tech because I don't have a job at all. I've been mentioning Pre-Hired, which again is also linked in my bio. They are a tech bootcamp that they guarantee you a job and you don't pay anything until they get you a job in tech.
Wow.
On the back end, Pre-Hired costs a lot more, but they also cap how much they can take from you or get from you or you pay over time. And again, you will be in tech and you'll have a tech career. So those are like two options usually. Either one, hey, if you have a little bit of money, I would encourage doing Careerist, again, especially because they're doing the 30% off right now. If you don't have any money and like you just want to get into tech and you just want to start making more money and start growing all of that, then Pre-Hired, link in my bio for that. Now, if you're a person where you're like, hey, I'm not trying to do that and I'm not trying to do Careerist, then going back to what Carl said, one, considering interning at tech companies.
Yeah.
It'll be a non-paid internship most likely, but interning at tech companies and networking well and aggressively on LinkedIn. Don't think it's going to be something where in 3 months you're going to get hired at some full-time position in tech. That's most likely not what's going to happen. You might find yourself interning for well up to like maybe a year, or networking well up to a year. All of that might be longer, might be shorter. Nevertheless, if you're someone where you might stay at home with your parents, you don't really have to have a full-time job, and you can do something like that, then that's a third route that you can consider going to kind of get your foot in the door and get yourself trained up and get some stuff on your resume for tech.
Yeah. Another thing I'd say is like, if you're looking into getting like the development space or something like that, like try building like your own project or something like that. So like when you go into the interview, you have like, yo, you show like your determination to get into the tech space, but it's like, yo, I went to YouTube University and I learned how to code and I built this entire app on my own. So like this is what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like design or something like that, like make sure like you can have like something tangible to bring to the interview.
Yeah, that's very real. That's really good.
So,
That's good.
And like I mentioned LinkedIn Learning a couple of times. Like they have like some courses on there that you can learn, like QA or whatever you want to learn on there. They got like free trials and stuff on there too. So
that's good, bro. Thank you so much, man, bro, for you coming on. Really appreciate you. I love hearing more of your story, more of the details. Even though I knew you, I ain't know all of that stuff at all whatsoever. Just the journey God took you on, and how you were learning lessons throughout that entire process. And for you to land at such a great place that you're clearly enjoying. You've been there 4.5 years, and it seems like they're treating you really well. I mean, I'm happy that you're blessed. I'm happy to see one, a friend. I'm happy to see just a person in general, but I'm happy to see like a black man who's in tech, who's doing well, who's flourishing, who God used as one of the individuals that opened my eyes to consider the space. Man, so I thank you so much, bro. Man, just happy about all of that. Look, y'all follow Carl. Carl has some dope merch. What is the name? It's not. So I know. I've seen like some of the newer stuff, the designs you have that are worthy, which are super cold.
Yeah.
Love that black, like that sleek. That junk is sleek, is mess. So that, but also I've seen the my secret weapon
is my secret place. Yeah.
Is my secret place.
Yeah. So the brand is called Fruit Over Phonics. It's my clothing brand, something that God put on my heart to do a while ago.
And it's dope, y'all. It's dope. It ain't like some little it's actually fire.
Hold on, let me put the I guess the thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's a Christian lifestyle clothing brand. Right now this year, like we're focusing on the Worthy collection. So my small group at Fusion, our creative small group, we created a short film to raise awareness for sex trafficking, and we're raising funds to be able to like produce the film right now. So all the proceeds from the Worthy collection are going towards that short film.
That's fire! Come on, bro. I'm here for that, man. Yeah. True, that's fire. Yeah. Man, thank you, man. I'm happy about what you're doing. Y'all make sure y'all follow him, keep up with him. Man, get that Worthy joint. I'm about to copy one. Yeah. I already wanted to copy one. Them joints is cold. Yeah. But now also knowing like what it's also going towards, that's super dope. Yeah. Man, appreciate you. Thank you, bro. I'm gonna pray over you real quick, and I'm gonna pray for everybody that's on here. Then we're gonna close out. All right. Lord, I thank you so much for Carl, just the man that you have grown him into. I thank you, God, just for the blessing that he's been in my life as a friend, even just from hanging out at times. Giving encouragement, just being someone that I know is like just a loyal person, a consistent person, a good person, a person that's been transparent, even at times where he felt like he wasn't doing enough or he was falling short. But I thank you, God, that you've used him in those ways to reflect and put a mirror on myself and make me look at myself and examine myself, examine my heart, examine the way that I've moved. Lord, I thank you, God, for you blessing him to be in this space at MailChimp these years. Lord, you having him be a manual QA person. And I thank you, God, for you giving him something that's been blessing his life, been making him happy, and that has also been blessing others. I thank you, Lord, for him coming on to this live to share, to open up, to answer questions, let people pick his brain. God, I pray, Lord, that you would bless him immensely, Lord, even beyond what you've been blessing him with, God. I pray, God, that you would give him an abundance of abundance, Lord, just with blessings. God, you just showering on him, God, just giving back to him even what he pours out from his brand, Fruit Over Phonics, Lord, to the work that he's doing at MailChimp, ministry, the small group, Fusion, everything else, God. I pray, Lord, that you would just give him energy, give him strength to keep trudging forward, God. God, just replenish his joy, his energy, just everything, God. Just truly bless him. And I pray over everybody that's tuned into this live. Lord, I pray, God, that your hand will be on them. That, God, that you would use this live to encourage some to consider tech, encourage some, God, to step into careers that can bless their families, that can bless them financially, can really change the trajectory of their lives. But outside of that, God, We also pray, God, that you would use this live and some of the sidebar conversations to encourage people to get closer to you, to stir up people's desires for you. Lord, even if it's people are in situations where they want to get in tech, they want to get some career, and because of this conversation, it encourages them to seek your face so that you can open doors or bless them with an opportunity to get in tech, and that you would even use that as something to draw them closer to you. God, I pray that you do that you make it happen for your glory and for their benefit. Pray everybody has a blessed night, get some good sleep, and be blessed for the rest of the week. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, blessings to y'all. I'm going live with the Patreon community tomorrow with another guest who's a senior as a coder developer. He's worked with a bunch of different companies. So those who are in the Patreon community, make sure you tune in. Those who are not and you're interested in joining, links in my bio to join the Patreon community. I love y'all. Love you, bro, Carl. Thanks, bro.
Love you too, bro.
All right, peace.